Good morning, greetings, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures if you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That's why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 29 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system, the human body is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, we welcome your phone calls. If you want to get off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you do that. If you have a success story you'd like to share, if you want to contribute to the conversation, if you have a question about something you may have heard about, read about, somebody told you about, we can help you. 844-236-6010 is our number today and every day on The Bright Side, 844-236-6010. If you're interested in purchasing any of the longevity products you hear advertised on the program, recommended on the program, please head over to brightsideben.com or criticalhealthnews.com or pharmacistben.com. You can order products right off the website. You can also call the phone team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. Make sure you ask them about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine powder you add to water and drink. Now, Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets as well. We're going to be talking to Richard Renton at the bottom of the hour, by the way. Richard Renton is the formulator of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. He's formulator of a lot of the longevity products along with Dr. Wallach. And he makes the longevity products. I've known Richard for almost 20 years. Some of you guys out there know who I'm talking about. Anyway, Richard will be coming on in the bottom of the hour, and we're going to talk about the powder BTT versus the tablets and other things as well. Talk about some of the shellfish stuff I want to ask Richard about. And we'll just have a nice conversation at the bottom of the hour about some of the longevity products from the horse's mouth, straight from the horse's mouth. Richard Renton will be on at the bottom of the hour. We'll get your calls here in our next segment. 844-236-6010 is our number. So call in now. We'll get your calls here in our next segment. All right, so we're talking about fats. We're talking about the skin, fatty vitamins, essential fats. That is fats that are like vitamins in the sense that they're essential. There's two of those, omega-3s, omega-6. Fatty nutrients from plant. Collectively, they're called phytonutrients, plant nutrients. These fatty nutrients go by the names flavonoids, as in bioflavonoids, or carotenes, as in beta-carotene. Some of you may have heard of zeaxanthin and lutein. These are all carotenes. They're fatty nutrients from plants. And the fact that they're fatty is really, really important to keep in mind. And I'm going to tell you about that here. If not here in a little bit, we'll talk about that tomorrow. The fact that these plant nutrients are fatty, it has humongous implications for aging or for problems with aging, for bone problems as we get older, for skin problems as we get older. The fact that fatty nutrients from nutrients from plants are fatty, the fact that there's these powerful fatty nutrients in plants is incredibly important when it comes to wrinkles and hyperpigmentation and photo damage that accrues with age, because these fatty nutrients are protective. Carotenes, flavonoids, pigments, greens, reds, yellows, they're all protective. And yes, they are colored. The fatty nutrients, a lot of the fatty nutrients are colored. And then, of course, there's the fatty hormones. The steroid hormones, our sex hormones, our fertility hormones, our building hormones, our stress management hormones. These are super duper duper important for anti-aging. And what does all this have in common? Fat. So, if the fatty hormones and the phytonutrients and the essential fatty acids and vitamin D and vitamin E and A and K, these nutrients are so darn important and they're so tricky to work with, And many of us are suffering from deficiencies in these things, and they're so involved with anti-aging and skin health and our appearance. Don't you think it makes sense to understand what exactly is a fat? What exactly makes something a fat? What's the distinction between fats and non-fats? Of course, non-fats are, for the most part, water, and that's the basic chemical distinction in the body in terms of biochemistry. Fat-soluble, water-soluble, hydrophilic, lipophilic, whatever terms you want to use. What is it that makes something hydrophilic, water-soluble, water-loving, watery, liquidy? And what is it that makes something fatty? That is really, really important. I mean, if you consider the incredible relevance of fats to our health, or lack of fats to our ill health, then maybe we should be figuring out what the heck what is it about fats, and what is it about liquids and waters, and what is it that distinguishes the two? All right, so basically what you're talking about here is electricity. What makes something a fat and not a water, or an oil and not a water, is electricity, or more specifically, pieces of electricity called electrons. Now, I don't like saying that word electrons because it freaks people out. Everybody, I'm sure some of you guys tune out already when you hear the word electrons. And I don't mean to go all chemistry here, go all Dr. Chemistry on us, but the fact is you got to understand some of the very, very basics. The fact that we don't understand the basics makes us vulnerable and weak to predators, and there's a lot of them out there. And some of them aren't even mean-spirited. They're just as ignorant. They're just ignorant too. So we got to understand at least the basics. Electricity, it's all about electricity always anyway, but the key distinction between fats and water is electricity, little pieces of electricity called electrons. In a fat, these little pieces of electricity are spread out. They're dispersed. There's a more even distribution of the electrical energy in a fatty substance or an oily substance than in a watery substance. And the fact that the electrical energy is more dispersed in a fatty substance than it is in a watery substance makes all the difference in the world. This is what it's about. The fact that these electrons, these electrical energy, electrical pieces are spread out makes them sticky. It makes the fatty substances have more stickiness to them. They have more attachments because the electrical energy is dispersed. In a watery substance, the electrical energy, the pieces of electricity, are pulled to the side. That makes them much less sticky. That's why water's not sticky, and that's why oil is sticky. That's why if you have peanut butter and jelly on a knife in the sink, the jelly's going to rinse right off, not the peanut butter, because the peanut butter's electrical energy is dispersed, so it can react with the knife in what has more attachments to connect with the knife, and it's not going to rinse off. And this makes a fat much trickier to work with than a watery substance. This makes lipophilic or fatty substances very difficult, or relatively difficult, for the body to process. But it also makes them extremely important because they're great storage devices for electricity. Fats and oils store electricity. That's why we cook with them. That's why they accelerate fires. That's why we run our engines and our cars on them. Because fats and oils, gasoline or any oil or any fat, really, you can run your car on grain fat. There's people who do. There's countries who do that. You could run your car on anything that's got an oily nature to it because it's a storage device. Oily substances have a very effective ability to store electrical energy. That makes fats very important, number one, and it makes them very tricky to work with, number two. By the way, this idea of electrical energy either being spread out as it is in an oil or accumulating on one side as it is in a water is called pulling, because the electrical energy is pulled when it comes to water and it's spread out when it comes to oil. Now, they don't say pull, really. That's kind of a colloquial term. They say pole, polar. And a watery substance is said to be a polar substance. And a non-polar substance is a fatty substance because everything's spread out. And that has a huge implication when it comes to our health. And I will tell you about that when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. 844-236-6010 is our number. We're coming back at you with more good health information and your phone calls right after this break. Don't go away.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
guys in the Indianapolis area, I'll be doing the Indianapolis Jamboree along with Richard Renton and Cheryl Morley and a bunch of other longevity folks, the Pitcocks. For longevity, we'll be talking about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and nutrition and health and wellness, etc. If you're in the Indianapolis area, check out the Midwest Jamboree, Indianapolis Midwest Jamboree. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 12th, 13th, and 14th of November. You can probably just Google Midwest Jamboree Longevity Midwest Jamboree. Our number 844-236-6010. Hang tight. We'll get to you here in just a minute. Got Richard Renton coming up at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk about the formulations, some of the longevity formulations, and especially we'll talk about the difference between the tablet, the new tablet BTT, and the powder BTT, and we'll get Richard, the formulator of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, along with Dr. Wallach. We'll get his take on what exactly is it about the tablet? Why did they even come up with the tablet? And I also have a few other questions I want to ask him about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. So we're talking about the fatty nature of substances versus the watery nature of substances. Fatty substances have their electrical energy dispersed. Watery substances have their electrical energy pulled. So they're said to be polar. Non-polar, fats are said to be non-polar. Polarity is huge when it comes to how effective, how important an active ingredient will be, and a skincare ingredient will be. And understanding the nature of polarity is unbelievably important if we're going to make good decisions about what to buy. This is one of the reasons why, in the world of skincare, most ingredients are ineffective, because of polarity and non-polarity. And we'll finish this up. We'll continue this tomorrow as we talk about fats and oils and fatty hormones and how they impact the skin. It all has to do with the skin. At least for the time being, we're just going to be sticking to how things interact with the skin, even though we do take lots of digressions on the bright side. Okay, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening, friends. Let's go to Michigan. Talk to John. Thanks for holding on so long, John. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, it's okay, Ben. Ben, I'd just like to get some information on what someone can take to help create an environment for procreation, for having a baby.
For conception, for making a baby.
Perfect. These people live in California, and I'm not sure if they drink the California water or not, but I've been out there, and it's pretty horrendous.
It is horrendous. Are they Northern California? It's really bad up north.
L.A. area.
Okay, it's probably bad there, too.
It is brown water, but does the thyroid factor into fertility?
Oh, heck yes. Here's the thing about fertility. This is the most important thing about fertility. I was listening to a gal yesterday on TV, and she was talking about how she had a baby who was born preemie, and she said, well, we had tried to have a baby 8 times, and we kept having miscarriages. Finally, we got a baby, but she was born preemie. Well, here's the deal. If your body is under duress, and that duress can be emotional, it can be mental, it could be nutritional deficiencies, it could be food toxicities, it could be blood sugar, etc. If your body's under duress, your body will not make a baby. Your body's not stupid. We're stupid. The body's not. The body is way smarter than we are, and it isn't going to want you to make a baby if it doesn't have enough nutrition, if it doesn't have enough, if it's toxic from sugar. Make no mistake about it, sugar's a toxin. If it's malnourished, if there's toxin coming in through the digestive system, including sugar, if it's hypoxic, that is low blood oxygen, or if it's under mental or emotional duress, it ain't making a baby unless you force it to with drugs. You follow me? So the way you deal with fertility issues is by calming the body down and providing it with all the nutrients it needs. Just to give you a classic example, progesterone. Right? Pro means in favor of. Gest means pregnancy. Pro and own means hormone. Progesterone is a hormone that's in favor of pregnancy. It's your pregnancy hormone. So using progesterone cream is absolutely incredibly important for somebody who's having a problem with a baby. And, oh, by the way, progesterone cream calms the body down. You follow me? Okay? Before you have a baby, before you attempt to conceive, take a hot bath. Okay? What is that going to do? That's going to activate your fertility nervous system. It's going to calm the body down. You have a back rub, have a foot rub, a foot massage. Everybody's trying to get